Hey dudes, Hardcore Kid here, and you're watching the Toon Critic. Gabba gabba hey.
I'm back! Did you miss me? I know you did. You're outside my front door right now, banging on it, saying, "Stop with the 60-second smackdowns, you lazy bum!" Well, those will be put on hold until maybe January. Who knows? Anyways, Toon Critic's the name, Toon's in the name of my game. Well, Halloween has arrived once again, and it's one of my favorite times of the year. It's that wonderful time of the year where old sex offenders can hand out candy to kids and not have the cops watching them all the time, where teenage girls can dress up like complete whores and not have their parents complain, and it also shares the name of that completely overrated slasher movie series with one of the worst serial killers this side of the Candyman. What was his name? Alright, Michael Who Gives a Fuck Myers. Okay, I was kinda joking when I said Halloween is one of my favorite times of the year. It used to be. And I used to be really into it. I went through a lot of costumes, from the Titanium and Quantum Power Rangers, to Darth Maul and Anakin Skywalker, to friggin' Harry Potter. There are a few stories I could share, but that's for another video. But yes, Halloween is here, and with it brings a plethora of Halloween-themed movies, TV specials, and brand new shoddily made in China costumes that look just like the old ones. So, what should I choose for this special episode of the Toon Critic? No. No. Nope. Dear Lord, no. This movie is a horror movie, but not for the right reasons. Yeah, I'll get back to you. I promise. But you're close. While many people may think of Halloween to be reserved for series like Saw and Nightmare on Elm Street, I think of Halloween for 3 words. Tim fucking Burton. I've mentioned this guy a few times before, and I'll go on record saying Burton's one of my all-time favorite directors. There's something special about Burton. His outlook on life admittedly is pretty depressing, but he helped pave the way, in my opinion, for other auteurs to experience the grim and surreal art styles. My first experience with Tim Burton came in James and the Giant Peach. I was attracted to the way he made his movies and how he was able to take the world that Roald Dahl had created and made it just as I imagined it. Now, even though Burton's made a lot of live-action stuff, he's dipped his toe into the animation world, and had a hand in making one of the greatest animated movies of all time, The Nightmare Before Christmas. But today, we're going to take a look at the first full-length stop-motion film Tim Burton finally directed, Corpse Bride. Now, before we get started, I'm going to do this review a little differently. Finally, I get the chance to do this. It's time to play the Tim Burton drinking game. As much as I love Burton, repetitive themes are usually the norm when it comes to his stuff. So when I tell you to, take a quick swig of, say, apple juice, chocolate milk, or regular milk, whatever you want. And now many of you may be wondering, "Hold on! Nostalgia Critic did a Stephen King drinking game! You're totally ripping off of him!" Yeah, tell me that again when my Give a Fuck Club card is valid. So let's get this review started, shall we? This is Corpse Bride. Our story begins at a small secluded village where we have a young man named Victor Van Dort. Take a shot if he's voiced by Johnny Depp. Well, that didn't take too long. Also take another shot if he has neglectful, asshole, one-dimensional parents. Oh, funny. That's what I was expecting. Usually Burton movies have at least one dickish parent. Victor's parents are down on money, so they decide to have him marry the daughter of 2 aristocrats, Victoria, who is pretty sure her own parents could really give less of a fuck if their daughter was happy. There we go. Wait, Victor and Victoria. That's kind of lazy naming, don't you think? That's like Danielle and Daniela, or John and Joan, or Fucktard 1 and Fucktard 2. Victoria and Victor meet so quickly, and fall in love so quickly, it actually makes the lovers in Titanic look realistic. And in the marriage ceremony, or marriage rehearsal, I think it is, I'm not really sure, Victor chickens out and runs off into the same woods from Nightmare Before Christmas. He decides to practice his wedding vows next to a tree, places the ring on a tree root poking out from the ground. However, the root is actually a finger of a zombie woman who claims that she is now Victor's wife due to... They never really explain that.
Magic.
Victor's new corpse bride, Emily, is voiced by... Wait. I'm gonna take a guess here. What is Helena Bonham Carter? Oh, yes, keep them coming, bartender. Through this little escapade, Victor is transported to the land of the dead, which is much more livelier than you'd imagine. Kinda like if the underworld from Monkey Bone and Beetlejuice got together. Now I really want to go there! Oh wait, Lord Death gave me an all-expense-paid trip there this summer. I'll make sure to give Osama Bin Laden a great big hug. What, would you rather I have said Steve Jobs? That's what I thought. Now, just for the record, I'm not comparing Osama Bin Laden to Steve Jobs, so don't flame me or anything. It's not what you think. Now let us discuss the characters. Victor's character does show some development. We see him at first as a timid, worried, absent-minded coward. Jesus, where do they find these characters? The Build-A-Whip workshop down at Disney? But to be honest, he's a bit boring as the main character. At first I couldn't even tell it was Johnny Depp voicing him. To his credit, Depp usually turns in a solid performance as the main character, but technically he isn't. I mean, he's one of the main characters, but he's not the main hero of the movie. It's kind of like his performance as Jack Sparrow, except kind of watered down. I think they could have done a lot more with this character. Now for the main character, the real hero of the story, Emily. Now first off, I did enjoy her performance. She was a lot like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Shy, quiet, but with a lot of heart hidden underneath. You don't want to take her for granted either. She's the type of girl that'll steal your heart. Literally, if you piss her off. Helena turned in her usual performance of a coy, mysterious, and somewhat vengeful young woman. If you've seen a lot of her work, you've kind of come to expect that. And now we give you, direct from the Build a One-Dimensional Villain / Jackass Workshop, your generic con artist bastard of a guy that you've seen in just about all of Burton's movies, Lord Barkis Baron, voiced by Richard E. Grant, who always seems to have a delightful rape face on with his photos. Burton's never really been good with making villains. When he gets them right, oh, he gets them right. But sometimes you get this little half-baked thing that you're not too sure about, and that's Bittern. He wasn't even a very good villain. Oh sure, he was a snidely little weasel, but I've seen other people take that character and make it look better. And really? Bittern? That's the best villain name you can make? Why not call him Sir Orland Gravestone, or Marcus Reaper, or Count Stab-A-Bitch? Hey, if you make a series about Count Stab-A-Bitch, I'll watch it every day. I would have mentioned Victoria, but there's nothing I can really say about her. I'd expect there to be more, but she doesn't show up very often. So let's wrap up the cast. First, this little guy. Emily decides to show Victor that the land of the dead allows you to visit people who died and gives him a gift, which contains the bones of his first dog. A ghost dog, huh? Now, where have I heard of that before? Oh yeah, and take a quick shot if Christopher Lee has a cameo in this. Not surprised at this point. And lastly, these have got to be the ugliest parents I've ever seen. I can understand that they are exaggerated caricatures and that no one in real life looks that bad, but there's nothing pleasant to look at about with these people. They get practically nothing except they whine and complain about what's going on, and what do? Nothing. Parents of the year here, people.
You people are idiots.
If you've seen one Tim Burton stop-motion flick, well, you've kinda seen them all. But there's something different that separates Corpse Bride from Nightmare and Giant Peach. Even though it does look like Henry Selick's animation, who I'd like to state is the person who animated Giant Peach and Nightmare, not Tim Burton, Mr. Selick was not associated with this project in terms of animation. Instead, we have Mike Johnson, who not only animated but also co-directed Corpse Bride with Burton. Interesting note, Corpse Bride was shot with a battery of Canon EOS 1D Mark II digital SLRs, rather than the 35mm film cameras used for Burton's past stop-motion flicks. I talk like I even know what those are. Which I don't. Tee-hee. And let me guess, the soundtrack's by Danny Elfman, isn't it? Yeah, of course, you can't have a Burton flick without the soothing and creepy tones of Mr. Elfman, the same guy who brought us the true Batman theme and the Simpsons theme. And you can't have an animated Burton movie without a few songs, especially an upbeat and lively musical number. There are 4 songs in Corpse Bride, but 3 of them fall to the awesomeness that is Remains of the Day. Train number 476 showed me the song before I had seen the movie, and well, it basically told me everything I needed to know. It explained why Emily is the Corpse Bride, sung by a dancing skeleton named Bone Jangles. Danny Elfman provided the vocals for Bone Jangles, and I'm pretty sure it's not the first time Danny Boy has voiced a dancing skeleton. Or should I say, skeleton? If you were to compare Corpse Bride to Nightmare Before Christmas and James with a Giant Peach, it gets its ass kicked out of the room. But on its own, well, it's not too bad. It was nominated for Best Animated Feature at the 2005 Academy Awards, but ultimately lost to the vastly superior stop-motion movie that year, Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit. For a movie created specifically for Helena Bonham Carter, while Corpse Bride may stumble in the story department, it makes up for it with its atmosphere and music. The story isn't perfect, there's a few kinks here and there that they could have fixed, a few of the characters have life to them, mostly Emily, and Johnny Depp still did a pretty good job. This isn't Depp's best work, but if you're a Depp fan, this is worth checking out. By a lot of standards, I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it shows it's trying, and I think the nominee part earns itself a little bit of respect in my eyes. Overall, it gets a 3 out of 5 from me. I wouldn't really say it's worth buying either, but if you find it in a discount bin, it's worth a pickup. I'm the Toon Critic, keeping you totally tuned for your viewing entertainment, and if you'll excuse me, I gotta go scare the shit out of some trick-or-treaters.